Now let's continue with the problems on the backside. On the problems on the backside, we are starting to work with word problems. So we need to be able to locate the same information. We need to be able to write an equation. And I know that many of you guys are able to do this in your head, but I want you guys to go through the process to write information because the problems will get more complex as we move on to other chapters. And it's important to be able to write the equation. So let's go read through this. It says, your parents will let you use their minivan to take friends to a hockey game. Tickets for game are $7 per person, and the parking is $20. Write an equation that represents the total cost. Now, you need to be careful when you write this down. There's going to be, they give you two numbers, two key parts. $7 per person and $20. With your red pen, I want you guys to think, okay, which is the item that I'm going to be paying over and over again? Am I going to pay $7 more than once? Or am I going to pay $20 more than once? Because this is $7 per person, I know that this is going to be my slope because that's going to be over and over again. And if you don't want to write down, we can just place an M on top. And place it in red so I understand that you know that that's the slope. Something that's going to be paid only once will be your y-intercept. So the parking is 20. And that'll be your B. And if you don't want to write down on the side, like I'm doing now, as long as you label it, that'll be sufficient. So M is going to be 7, and your B will be equal to 20. So I'm going to write down the equation, y is equal to mx plus b. Your slope is 7, and your b will be 20. And instead of the x, we're so used to writing an x, it says 7 per person. So I'm going to write down a p, 7p. So this is your equation. We wrote it down. Now the next part of the problem is how many friends can you take if you can only spend $86? So am I going to substitute $86 into the P? Or am I going to substitute $86 into the Y? Remember, this is the amount that you are paying. So that'll be the Y. So I'm going to take the 86 and I'm going to substitute into the Y. That'll be, let me write this down. Y is equal to 7P plus 20. I'm going to plug in that 86 in the Y. And now I can solve the equation. I'm going to move my 20 to the left. It's going to become a negative 20. So I have 7P is equal to 66. Then I'm going to divide by 7. Divide by 7. That cancels. So P is equal to 66 over 7. Or, how many times is 7 going to 66? 9. 9 times 7 is 63. Because this P is the number of people, or the number of persons that you take in. So you can't take 9.3. So there will be just 9 people. Let's go into the next problem. It says a service station charges $40 per hour for labor, plus the cost of parts to repair a car. So if you guys notice, we have two items: $40 per hour, plus the cost for the parts. If the total parts cost $200, write an equation that represents the total cost of the car repair cost. First, we need to be able to write the equation. So let me identify. Which is the item that you're going to be paying more than once? Is it the amount for the parts or for every hour that they work out? Correct. So I want you to circle per hour. That's the amount that you're going to be paying over and over and over again. So that'll be your slope. The parts you're only going to pay once. and that'll be your B. Let's go and write down on the left hand side. So your M will be 40. Your B will be 200. I'm going to write down the equation. So this will be y is equal to, will be 40 per hour. So instead of the x, I'm going to use 40h plus b, which is 200. That's the equation. Now it says, how much will it cost to fix your car if it takes them 7 hours? I need to decide, am I going to write down 7 hours, am I going to plug in 7 hours into the h or into the y? So you need to decide, am I going to plug in 7 hours into the hours or into the y? Remember, the y will give you how much money you're spending, because that's the equation. If they worked in the car for 3 hours, it will be 40 times 3 plus 200. If they're working 7 hours, it will be 40 times 7 plus 200. So I replace that h with a 7. Now I can just simplify. Y is equal to 280 plus 200. So y is equal to 480, and that'll be dollars. Try the next two examples. See what you get, and then we can compare answers. Go ahead and pause it. Great. On the next one, it says your parents bought a brand new PlayStation 3. You want to play online and find out that there is an initial fee of $5 to sign up for the online service and 50 cents or half a dollar per hour. First, we need to be able to decide which is the amount that you're going to be paying over and over and over, the amount that's going to repeat. Correct. That'll be 50 cents or half a dollar, so that'll be your slope. Now, your y-intercept, which is the amount that you're only going to pay once, your initial fee. So your initial fee, and notice that that is going to be a keyword. Your initial fee, a one-time fee, you pay once, something that you're just going to pay only one time. So let me write down the information on the left. So M is going to be 1/2, and we know that's going to be h per hour. B is going to be 5. Y is equal to mx plus b, where M is going to be 1/2, and B will be 5. How many hours can you play if you only have $9? And like I mentioned before, many of you guys are able to solve this problem without writing the equation, but you need to be able to write it down in order to receive credit. How many hours can you play if you only have $9? So I need to be able to decide, am I going to plug in $9 into the y or into the x? And it's actually, this should be in h because we are dealing with hours. So $9 into the y or $9 into the h for hours. Correct. So I'm going to plug the 9 into the y. It'll be 9 is equal to 1/2 h plus 5. And now we can solve the equation. I'm going to move my 5 to the left. It's going to become a -5. So give me 4 is equal to 1/2 h. Now I'm going to get rid of the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by 2. Some of it gets multiplied by the reciprocal, which is fine. So the 2's cancel. So we have 8 is equal to h, 8 hours. Right? It was 1 hour. So if you only have $9, you are going to be able to play for 8 hours. Next problem, the last problem. When you go bowling, you pay $2 for shoes rental and $4 per game that you play. Write an equation to model this problem. So first you need to be able to look here. Think about the process or the information that's given to you. What are you going to be paying over and over and over again? Are you going to pay for the shoe rental over and over again, or are you going to pay $4 per game over and over again? Correct. $4 per game will be paid over and over again. The $2 for shoes, you're going to rent, every time you go, you're only going to rent the shoes once. So that's going to be your one-time fee. Let's write the information on the left. Your slope is going to be 4 per game, and your b will be 2. Your equation is y is equal to mx plus b. So y is equal to 4. By itself, let's want to use g. $4 per game plus your initial fee, which is 2. Now the question is, how many games will you be able to play if you only had $70? So I need to decide, am I going to plug in the 70 into the y, or am I going to plug in the 70 into the g? Correct. I'm not plugging the 70 into the y. It's not g, it's not how many games. That's the amount that you have. So it'll be 70 is equal to 4g plus 2. I'm going to go and draw the line. Move my 2 to the left. It's going to become a negative 2. So I have 68 is equal to 4g. Then I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. That cancels. So g is equal to, I'm going to reduce my fractions. So divide by 2. They're both even. So I'll be 34 over 2. I can reduce my fraction once again. And I can divide by 34 divided by 2 will be 17 g. So 17 games. So if you have $70, you are going to be able to play 17 games. So I know that the word problems that might be a little overwhelming for you guys, but remember to look for 2 key components. How much are you paying over and over again? That'll be your slope. The item that you pay only once will be your y-intercept. So that will conclude the lesson for today. Please email me if you have any questions. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to the notes, and have a great day. I'll see you in class.